This is Corner Talk.
What's up, bro? How was your week?
What up? It was great. Glad to be back.
Hell yeah,
How
man.
about yourself? You have a good week?
Yeah, man, it's been good. I can't complain. UFC London was it was good, and it was kind of mid at the same time. There was some crazy outcomes, and there was also some boring ass fights, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and start by recapping the first fight on the main card last week, and that is Curtis Campbell versus Danny Silva. So I was pretty high on Curtis Campbell. I thought that Curtis Campbell has looked great so far in his career on the regional scene. He's a dangerous finisher. He's got power in his hands. He also is a great grappler. The only problem I saw in this matchup was that Danny Silva has great takedown defense. He knows how to efficiently get back up if he does get taken down. He knows how to efficiently defend against chokes. And he's a great striker, great boxing. He trains with Coach Ant. He's from the LA area. He gave Kevin Vallejos his toughest test so far, in my opinion. So I thought that this was like the perfect opportunity for an upset, but at the same time, I just didn't know if Curtis Campbell was going to be able to eat up some control time. I thought that, potentially Curtis Campbell could win a decision. But Danny Silva, he came out, he got taken down early, defended well. He ended up sweeping Curtis Campbell, getting back up to the feet, and then soon as he put pressure on Curtis Campbell up against the fence, man, he landed some big shots, and that was all she wrote. What did you think of Danny Silva's performance?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he showed out. I think that I don't know, maybe if it was just like the moment getting to Curtis Campbell, because it's always hard for the fighters talk all the time about the pressure of losing their O and whatnot, and 23 years old and big crowd, sold out London crowd, they're there to see you, they're rooting for you. I feel like that could be big, and you're coming off of a minute knockout off of Contender Series. There's a lot that you have to. It's a lot of pressure that starts adding. So it's like I hope. I always love exciting prospects coming in. And I too was excited about him. He's got his own funny little aura going on about him with the nerdy glasses and everything. So and, him being a killer too. I love that. So if there's a way that we can find a way to make that work, and him being in the same room with Patty and all them, that's gonna definitely give him the tools he needs to probably bounce back efficiently.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's young. He's got plenty of opportunities to, do well in the UFC. I think that he just ran into some adversity, but being a professional fighter, fighting at the highest level in the UFC, it's going to happen. Not everybody can be John Jones. So congrats to Danny Silva, man. I'm excited to see who they match him up with next. But I'm excited for Curtis Campbell as well. I think they're going to give him some easier matchups going forward. Clearly, he still has some things to work on, but yeah, should be interesting. Let's go into the next fight. Roman Dolidze. If this guy can't bully you by taking you down, he's going to do nothing. I don't know how Chris Duncan didn't get the finish. It looked like he was so worried about Roman taking him down, which is crazy because I've seen him defend takedowns well against other guys earlier in his UFC career. It just seemed like he almost doesn't have that killer instinct, Like, he went out there, fought extremely safe.
Yeah, he felt
And
conservative. Very, yeah.
yeah, he won the fight, but like wasn't an impressive performance whatsoever. So how did you feel about it?
I mean, absolutely. It's and then Roman, he has this like thing where he keeps like having bad theatrics. He keeps being so sluggish, and it's like, dude, you guys are in a fight right now. Like, and Chris Duncan not capitalizing on that just really speaks even more to what you're saying. It's like, you have a man he's getting beat up. You're beating him in every degree for the striking. Yeah, he caught you with a couple, like one or two crazy little spinning, but then you got privy to that. You saw
Mhm.
it coming. So it's like I felt like everything was there for Chris Duncan finish, and he didn't get it. So that definitely kind of a letdown. I thought he was going to knock out Roman.
Lackluster fight. I mean, congrats to Chris Duncan on the win, but he ain't getting no fucking amazing matchups after that. Next, we had Ewo versus Austin Lane. Um, I think we both said last week like Austin Lane was gonna get absolutely flatlined. First big shot that Ewo landed, and that's exactly what happened. Took him 28 seconds, caught a body. I mean, unfortunately, Austin Lane, you're a bit too old at this point, man. You're fighting at fucking light heavyweight. Like, I don't know why people want to cut more weight when they're having chin issues initially.
Yeah.
Makes no sense. You're just making your chin weaker. But congrats to Ewo. I mean, I don't really have much to say about this. What about you?
I mean, I'm excited about the light heavyweight future. With a guy like Ewo being out there, because it's we need more blood and young blood and people with judo background, as he says. If he's got a ground game and he's able to do what he did, 2 first-round knockouts in the UFC thus far, like that's awesome. And if he's able to take that to the ground, or at least stop someone from imposing him, take him to the ground, it's like that opens up a whole world of possibilities. And I'm excited. That's the heavier divisions. They need breaths of fresh air. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to say about like how the fight went. He made short work, but I definitely like to see where his career goes next.
Yeah, for sure. I think that dude's dangerous. He's got power. He's got great striking, and he says that he has great judo. So I'm excited to see a matchup where he potentially may need to use that, against somebody who's a grappler. But moving on, we had MVP versus Sam Patterson. What were your thoughts on this one?
I was very excited for this fight, and then it was I guess just a stylistic clash. A lot of counter attackers just waiting for a counter attack, and Sam Patterson, he was the one going forward, but it felt like Michael Page was the one who was getting the cleaner moments. And he was a little more active, I think. It was just a weird fight. Yeah, he had like 8 more strikes, so it's not crazy, but it was just a lackluster fight altogether, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, MVP kind of said like, depending on who you match me up with, this is the type of fight you're gonna get. Um, Obviously, these guys have trained together before, and it kind of showed. Like Sam Patterson knew that MVP was the better striker, so he was extremely cautious. He was trying to keep it at range, and he never even got to grapple, and that was the only path of victory I really saw for him. So,
Yeah.
kind of sucks that the fight went that way, but both guys are to blame. It's not just MVP's fault, and I know MVP is getting a lot of heat for it, but like Sam Patterson, if you're losing the fight, it's also your responsibility to like try to make it exciting, try to make something happen. And if you don't do that, it's not just on MVP, like it's on you as well. So,
Well, hold on now. I disagree a little on that. I feel like MVP, the story going into this was, what the fuck is this fight? MVP was too fucking good for Sam Patterson. It felt like, and he just beat Jared Cannonier soundly. Who Jared Cannonier's, he's fought for the title. And then, yeah, granted he's old, and so is MVP, and Sam Patterson is dangerous, coming off a bunch of first round victories. But I just feel like if you have the striking edge, I felt like if Sam Patterson's the one coming forward, you shouldn't be having a lackluster performance, especially if you're a counter striker.
yeah, but that's exactly it. MVP is a counter striker, and that's what he was doing. He was countering Sam Patterson anytime Sam Patterson closed the distance, and Sam Patterson didn't like it. So what did he do? He just backed up and just kept getting his face jabbed. Like, that's his fault. You got to do something. If you know you're losing the fight and you know the UFC is harping on people right now to fucking be exciting, you're just hurting yourself. You're asking to get cut and fucking go to PFL or whatever because you don't have the balls to get close and try to make something happen. If you make it an exciting fight, you get caught, you lose, the UFC's still going to reward you. They're still going to fucking give you fight of the night, or they're going to be like, dude, this guy shows up and bangs every time.
They gave
There's
Evo
no
Aslan a
way.
7-fight contract after he got
Yeah.
knocked out by Evo.
They're going to be
Yeah.
like, there's no way that we cut this guy. But you go out there and you look like that. You look like you're scared to do anything. The UFC doesn't like that. And they're probably going to fucking tell him that to his face is, that was a shitty ass fight. We gave you an opportunity to fight a guy who like is highly touted as far as, you know, the UFC goes, and he did nothing with it. So it's like, it's on him. I understand if you don't want to get knocked out, like nobody wants to get fucking their ass beat, but at the same time, bro, take a chance. If you're losing the fight anyway, why not? Like, MVP's gonna hit you one time and you're probably gonna drop, and then fucking the ref's gonna jump in or something. I don't know. But they're both at fault for how boring of a fight that was. It's not just MVP's fault. So moving on, we have Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell. I like Michael Aswell. He's a very tough guy. Trains at 4 ounce. I think it was just stylistically a bad matchup for him. Luke Riley, impeccable striker. Obviously, Michael Aswell had some success in the first round. His striking looked clean. He was able to pressure Luke Riley up against the fence. He was able to kind of get some good shots. But it just seemed like as soon as Luke Riley found his range, he started picking Michael Aswell apart. And second and third round, in my opinion, weren't even really close. I think it was the third round. Luke Riley landed something big, and it looked like he kind of wobbled Michael for a second. But like I said, Michael Aswell's tough as shit. So after a few seconds, he got his wits about himself and then just continued to get outstruck. So Luke Riley's exciting. He was my lock of the card, and I'm excited to see who they match him up with next. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was just a greedy fight fan. I wanted a knockout, but you know, what? Michael's not going to just let you knock him out, and you know, it's Luke doesn't want to go out there and then gas himself out trying to get the finish or whatnot, especially after the first round being at least a little close, you know. And then, but he did it. You know, his striking looked clean. I can't wait to see what where they take him next. They had a great first knockout in the UFC, followed up with a clean decision. Okay, it was a good start.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. All right, moving on to the main event. We had Movsar Evloev versus Lerone Murphy. Pretty sure we both picked Evloev last week. We both said he was probably going to out-wrestle Lerone, do enough, win a decision. Surprisingly, he went out there and decided he was going to just strike with Lerone for 3 rounds. And then in the 4th round, 5th round, he started to implement more of that wrestling. Very efficient on his takedowns, landed 9 out of 10, looked impeccable. Obviously, with the point deduction, I didn't know if he was going to get the nod. I thought it might have been a draw because of that. I thought he won round 1, round 4, and round 5. Obviously, round 4 is when the point was deducted. But surprisingly, 2 of the judges gave him round 1. All of the judges gave him round 3, 4, and 5. So he was going to win regardless, with the point deduction or not. Without the point deduction, it would have been a 49-46 on 2 of the scorecards. So, you know, I guess you could say he kind of dominated. But if you actually watch the fight, it seemed pretty close. It just seemed like he was having the bigger moments most of the time. Obviously, he did some damage. He split Lerone's eye. And then I guess in the 3rd round, Lerone popped his hip or something. So he was kind of struggling after that. But kudos to both of them. I didn't think this was a boring fight at all. I think it was a pretty good number 1 contender fight. Like, just kind of showed levels, and Movsar was the better guy that night. So I'm excited to see what happens when Movsar fights Volk. I think that's a good fight. Yeah, I don't know. How'd you feel about it though?
I'd rather see Lopez Volk 3. I'm just-
Yeah, I'm
nah,
sure.
nah. It was definitely Mobstar won for sure. I thought it was going to play out differently with the whole point deduction and whatnot, and then being in Laron's backyard. But I'm glad that we were able to get MMA justice. The right guy won.
Mhm.
But I definitely was surprised with how he won. You know, we thought he was going to go out there and wrestle, but then he showed that, hey, I've got hands. I would, and you know what? I like that side of him. If he shows that more, he's not going to have this, this aura of just boring. It's
Mhm.
crazy. He still got a decision though. Like even though he's using his hands, but still, that happens. Decision guy versus decision guy didn't stand much of a chance.
Yeah, I mean, he's not completely known for having power. He's more dangerous on the ground, but he went out there and more efficiently, outstruck Laurel Murphy, who's one of the best strikers in this division. So can't be mad at it. Kudos to Mavzar, and I don't know who they give Laurel next. Maybe Diego. I know there's some tweets
Little
going back and
bickering
forth.
going on.
Yeah. I like Diego in that fight, but obviously I'm biased because I'm a huge Diego fan. But
Yeah,
that'll be a banger. I think it'll be exciting.
yeah.
Um, let's move on from that card and let's talk about UFC Seattle. So the first match of the night, we have Alexia Tainara versus Bruna Brazil. I'm gonna keep this one brief. Tainara's better everywhere. Tainara's gonna outstrike Bruna. Um, I think Tainara can definitely get a finish here. I just don't think that Bruna Brazil makes the best decisions in all her fights. And it's kind of wild that she's a fighting nerd because she doesn't fight like any of them. She just kind of goes out there and kind of freezes up most of the time. Um, I think Tainara on the feet is going to be super aggressive. She's going to do more damage. And I think if she wants to, she could take Bruna Brazil down in some midders. So I really do like the finish prop here. Um, I don't know what the line is yet, but I'll probably end up betting that. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm really high on her right now. I think that she's got an aura of invincibility about her. It's funny you say the sub. That's what I was thinking too. I thought that she could probably get a submission. She's just so wrestle heavy, and she's great at mixing up her hands with her wrestling. Just being a true mixed martial artist. And I think it's funny. Bruna Brazil went from a minus 1100 favorite, as you said last time we talked about her fights, and now she's a plus 500. So I guess if
Well,
you're a Brazil fan,
she was only that live. To
yeah,
begin the fight, it was more even. She was like maybe a 2-1 favorite, but live because she was having a little bit of success early.
they're
That's
like
why the
minus
line,
1100.
yeah, that's why the line swelled. But she would never be minus
Yeah,
1100 to start a fight. I mean,
so funny.
that'd be insane. But moving on, we have Ricky Simone versus Adrian Yanez. How do you feel about this one?
I mean, I think this is a big test for Adrian Yanez. I think that he looked really good until he faced a little bit of adversity, and now he's like in his head. And Ricky Simone, he's looking good lately. What, he just lost to Hayoni Barcelos, I think. Like he's looking
In a
good as
fight that I
well.
thought he won. I thought he
Yeah,
won that fight, to be
so it's
honest.
like he's been looking great. I think he's gonna out wrestle Adrian. He could maybe even get a knockout.
Hmm. Yeah. I think Ricky Simone is just going to be better everywhere. I think he's going to be able to completely out wrestle Adrian Yanez, who doesn't have great takedown defense. The dude falls over with like a gust of wind, respectfully. I think Ricky Simone is going to be able to just take him down and do what he wants. On the feet, it's a little more competitive. Adrian Yanez has great boxing, but I still think that, Ricky Simone, he's going to be able to hang in there on the feet. And when the time comes, he's going to take a shot and he's going to take him down. And I don't know, man. I don't know how Adrian Yanez is going to look when Ricky Simone is, laying on top of him or maybe takes the back. So I like Ricky Simone in this one. Realistically, he probably wins the decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if he finds like a sub. Um,
Are you getting 6 subs this card?
no, I mean, like, I favor the decision the most, but who knows? Like Ricky Simone does have slick jujitsu.
Yeah.
Don't forget he choked Marab unconscious. So the dude's jiu-jitsu is good.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have Navajo Sterling versus Bruno Lopez. How do you feel about this fight?
I think Navajo Sterling is gonna knock out Bruno Lopez. I think Bruno Lopez, he's got like that like I said, whenever and he's only 32, so it's crazy, but like Eric Anders and Chris Weidman, he just seems like a uncle fighting, right? You know? Doesn't seem like a fine-tuned specimen. He just got knocked out by Jacoby. You know, he seemed to have a bit of hype around him at first, but I don't know. I'm not really that sold on him. Whereas Navajo, you know, he's training out there with Israel and City Kick or is it City, wherever he that gym. He's training with them and
Yeah.
he's getting good looks in the room and he's well rounded. He's more than just a good striker. He's got a massive reach advantage. I think it's all on Navajo.
Yeah, I agree. I think Navajo Sterling striking is just going to be a lot more crisp. I think he has a huge speed advantage. Um, I think that his wrestling defense is questionable at times, but I think he'll do well. I think he'll be able to defend anything that Bruno tries to throw at him as far as the grappling goes. And I think Navajo Sterling, I mean, we just saw fucking Dustin Jacoby brutally KO Bruno. So I think that Navajo is going to be able to do the same thing. So I'm with you there. Moving on. We have Casey O'Neill versus Gabriela Fernandez. This is another one. I'm just going to keep it short. I think Gabriela is going to go out there and be the better grappler. I think she's a very clearly better striker. Um, I don't like the layoff for Casey O'Neill. She's not really ever that active. And I don't know. The only way I see her really winning this fight is taking Gabriella down and kind of just holding her there. But I don't think she's going to be able to do that. So for that reason, I'm going with Fernandez. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, no, I think Fernandez gets the job done. I mean, Casey O'Neill, she's bigger and whatnot, but like you said, the layoff's going to probably be a big factor. And Fernandez is good. You know, she's like balanced KOs and submissions. You know, she's very well rounded. Plus, she's got a southpaw stance. You know, it's bringing different angles and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Moving on, we have Marcin Tybura versus Tyrell Fortune. I'm not gonna lie, it was super hard to find Tyrell Fortune's most recent fights. I couldn't find the last two most recent fights, so I had to watch like his third most recent fight and fourth most recent fight. The third most recent fight, dude, I was like, what am I watching? He was fighting a dude who's like 50, who has like almost 100 professional fights. Like, it was just like an absolute freak show. Like, he's fighting a dude that should be fucking in a retirement home, man. First punch he landed, he flatlined the dude. And I didn't see enough tape on him, to be quite honest.
55 and 31. Jesus.
Yeah, dude, it's like, I mean, from what I saw, Tyrell Fortune, obviously heavyweight, has power, good striking. I just don't know what his grappling looks like. I don't know what it's going to look like if Tybura takes him down, puts him on his back. There weren't many matchups to watch in the past that, you know, are similar styles to Tybura. So, gun to my head, I'd have to take Tybura. But if for whatever reason Tyrell Fortune's takedown defense is really good, he could probably get it done. Like, I don't know, man. It's
crazy.
a tough fight.
Tybura is the underdog.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hype around Tyrell Fortune because, like, he's had some success in boxing as well. But again, I don't know what he looks like if he gets taken down and put on his back. And I know Marcin Tybura can do that to most people in this division. So I'm gonna have to just not pick a side, to be quite honest.
Oh no,
Hopefully there's a finish.
call me a casual for not understanding Tyrell Fortune. It just seems crazy to me seeing fucking Marcin Tybura. He's been there. He's done that. You know, he's handed Tai Tuivasa a loss. You know, he can do that to the best of them. And it's so weird. It's like he's constantly getting disrespected. He beat Mick Parkin, disrespected there. You know, it's that I don't know. It feels crazy to me that he's the underdog in this situation.
Yeah. Um, I guess we'll see, man. We will
Yeah,
see what happens on Saturday. You know, maybe he goes out there and absolutely flatlines Tybura, and we're like,
because
oh,
Tybura
that's
can
why
be
he was a
knocked
favorite.
out. You know,
Yeah,
like
of course. His
I
striking is
just
not that great. It's enough to distract you until he gets the takedown, but I don't know. We'll see. But let's move on. Next, we have Chase Hooper versus Lance Gibson Jr. I'm not gonna lie, Lance Gibson Jr.'s last fight, Bobby Green, was pretty fucking boring.
yeah.
Um, Bobby just kind of yelled at him the whole fight and jabbed the shit out of him, kicked his legs. Uh, Hometown fight for Lance. He's from the Pacific Northwest. I think, this is going to be a lot of pressure on him. Um, Chase Hooper obviously is also from the Pacific Northwest, but Chase has been there. He's had huge fights in the UFC so far. And I just don't know how Lance Gibson is going to look with all that pressure on him, especially coming off a loss in his last fight. Maybe he's in his head a bit. We know that Chase Hooper has super dangerous jiu-jitsu. His striking has improved a lot as well, but he is coming off a KO loss against Ricky Simone. So I don't know, man. I have to pick Chase Hooper just because he's.
Alexander Hernandez.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it's because we were just fucking talking about
Yeah,
Ricky Simone. Yeah, like coming off a KO, it's always kind of scary to pick somebody, but at the same time, I just I've seen Chase Hooper, do what he does at the highest level, and so far Lance Gibson has not been able to show us that he belongs in the UFC yet. So I don't know how this fight will go, but I'm gonna pick Chase Hooper just based off experience. What are your thoughts?
yeah. I'd say Chase would be my lock, honestly, and that's I like Chase Hooper. Just he got knocked out by Alexander Hernandez and Steve Garcia. Those are people that will knock you out. Those are some knockout artists at its core. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like, that's the only path to victory I really see for Lance Gibson. And he wasn't even like, you I thought the Bobby Green fight was close, kind of a little bit. I think Bobby was having his theatrics.
Mm-hmm.
What? I remember it being boring. And the moments I was looking up, I was like, I feel like
Yeah, it
Lance
was
is the.
boring, but he was getting outstruck the entire time in every single round. Like he didn't have any moments. There was not a single moment where I was like, "Oh shit, Bobby's about to get KO'd," or "Oh shit, Bobby's getting his ass beat." It was literally just Bobby dominating him
I feel
from
like this was a
range.
short notice replacement guy, and I felt like he was supposed to be like he was a pretty big underdog or something, and Bobby was supposed to like whoop his ass. Ended up being like kind of competitive. I don't know. I'm probably remembering the fight wrong. Whatever. Either way, I don't see him knocking out Chase Hooper. And Chase Hooper, as you said, his striking has just it's gotten so much better.
Yeah.
I think that Chase is live for a finish probably.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Chase Chase has the resume to, go out there and get it done in my opinion, and I think that hopefully this will be a lot better than the Bobby Green fight. Maybe Lance Gibson Jr. can go out there and get the win in front of his family in, his hometown and get a huge upset, get a check. Who knows, but we'll have to wait until Saturday. Moving on, we have Ignacio Bahamondes versus Tofik Musayev. You can start on this one if you'd like.
I think Ignacio, he's coming from his last fight was Rafael Fiziev, and
Mm-hmm.
he's fighting a guy who's making his UFC debut and who has shown a lot of weaknesses and submissions. And he's going to have a reach deficit. I think that Ignacio could maybe wrap up a submission if he, because I, the guy that has 18 knockouts, granted, I don't know the quality of these knockouts, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to necessarily stand with him. But even if he does decide to stand with him, he's good on the feet. I like spinning
Yeah.
wheel knockouts and whatnot, and he could just jab to a decision if he wanted. I feel like this is Ignacio's fight to win.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that Ignacio Bahamondes, um, obviously, he has a clear reach advantage and height advantage. His grappling has looked amazing recently, training with Bilal and all them. And, you know, Tafik has been susceptible to submission in the past. Um, I don't know if Ignacio's game plan is going to be to go out there and try to get a submission. I think he's going to, you know, strike with him for a bit, just, you know, fill out the range, fill out the guy's power. But Tofik getting submitted by Mikdebek Oralbai to a Kimura, in my opinion, is not a good look. Getting submitted by a Kimura at the UFC level, in my opinion, is like your grappling's not that good.
You think Dan Hooker's not a good grappler? Come on, man.
Anyway, Bahamondes, I think Bahamondes is going to just completely outclass this guy almost everywhere. And I think it'll be a good fight. I think this is the perfect opportunity for Ignacio to go out there and look great and get a big win. I don't think he's going to just absolutely steamroll Tafik, but I think it'll be competitive for a bit until it isn't. And I think Bahamondes gets it done. Moving on. I'm extremely excited about this fight. T-Rex, Terrence McKinney versus Kyle Nelson. We already know what T-Rex is going to do. He's going to go out there. He's going to look like a world beater for the first 5 minutes. And if Kyle Nelson survives, he might flatline Terrence McKinney. In all seriousness, I think that Terrence McKinney, you know, he's been really working. I know his coach, Julian Williams, he's been working on trying to improve and make better decisions. I know he's trying to not go out there and get a first round finish or die in every fight anymore. He looked good against Chris Duncan until he didn't. And I don't even take that away from Terrence McKinney. I think Chris Duncan is just good. And he made the adjustments when he needed to, and he took advantage of it, and then he caught Terrence. So I think that Terrence McKinney's going to go out there and fight a bit smarter. Kyle Nelson, he feels like he's on his way out. He feels like he is 1 foot out the door. I was looking at the dude's Instagram a couple days ago. He's like posting photos and stuff with family, and it just seems like he's transitioning to a new chapter in his life. So I think this is Terrence McKinney's fight to win. Go out there and get it done. I don't know if I'd say he'd get the submission because Kyle Nelson, if I'm not mistaken, he has some pretty good jiu-jitsu, right?
He's submission savvy. He's got 4 wins.
Yeah. He's only been submitted once in his career. In his professional career. So I don't know if Terrence McKinney's going to be able to submit him, but I think it's going to be one of those fights where like maybe Terrence kind of paces himself in round 1, but I think round 2, it's going to be a fucking war. He's going to go out there and throw everything that he has at Kyle Nelson. So I like Terrence McKinney, but how do you think it goes?
If we're talking on historically accurate Terrence McKinney, then I think Kyle Nelson wins that fight. But I see the stuff too, him talking about him working on his grappling, and you've seen it in his, like, I'm pretty sure he got a submission win pretty recently. That's him making them same regards. Like, yeah, Vigislav Borshev, he subbed him. So
Borshev, I like Borshev, but Borshev has virtually
no
grappling whatsoever, which is insane because he's a team alpha male guy.
Yeah.
How are you in the gym with Uriah
Your coach there?
And all these guys, and you're getting submitted left and right by dudes in the UFC. Like, I don't know, man.
Insane. But I think, if Terrence McKinney was to, he's self-aware of him and his fighting style. He knows what time it is. So, if he's aware and tries to fight the smart fight, yeah. But if he does what he does, then I don't know. I see Kyle Nelson winning that.
D1 wrestler as well.
Who, Nelson?
Terrence McKinney.
Oh, how about that?
Yep. Nasty wrestling and KO power in the hands. As long as he makes good decisions, and I know his coach, Julian, is going to fucking be yelling at him.
Screaming.
Because, bro, it was so funny. The last time that Terrence fought, when he lost to Chris Duncan, fucking Julian, his coach, went out there and was like, This motherfucker didn't listen to any of our advice. He did not listen to the game plan. He was like, that is not what we told him to fucking do. He just went out there and fucking did what he wanted. And Terrence McKinney, like 100% took,
Dies
took
by the
ownership of it.
sword.
He was like, no, but he was like, Coach Williams is completely right. I let my team down. I did not listen to the things that, we had worked on. And I think this time he's going to do it. I think this time he's going to pace himself in round 1.
I hope to
And
see it.
I think round 2 he gets it done. So I'm excited for this fight. Good luck, T-Rex. I hope you pull off the win, man. I met him in Miami. He was a cool dude. Let's move on. We have Mansour Abdul Malik versus Yusri Balgaru or Balgarai. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but
Belgari.
yeah, there you go, Balgari. I think this is Abdul Malik's fight to win. I know it's a pick'em. It's pretty close, but I just think people are writing off Mansour because some of his performances lately, have gone a lot longer than they should have. A lot of people that, I don't know, the public thought he was going to just absolutely steamroll in round 1. He ended up having somewhat competitive fights up until he would get the finish. Yusri, I've just never been impressed by, man. I know he was a good kickboxer. He had a great record. I know he fought Alex Pereira in kickboxing, and now he trains with him. The guy's cardio is always questionable. His grappling looks absolutely terrible. His only chance is on the feet. And I think that Mansour Abdul Malik is going to just take him down and dominate him. But the line obviously shows some hesitancy in the cardio for Mansour Abdul Malik. So I don't know, man. I'm picking him, but I don't know if I bet on this fight, to be honest. I would take it with a grain of salt. I think that maybe Yusri has some big moments. We'll see. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think I'm picking Mansour, but I definitely I don't know. I see a world where Yusri gets him. Obviously the line says it too. But I don't know. I like to think him training over there with Glover and Alex and all of them that hopefully they're working on good enough anti-wrestling and whatnot. And he's 6'6". That's a big dude. But I think the grappling pedigree of Mansour against someone who can be taken down like Yusri, it's not going to play out well. Mansour probably finish if he does. I don't think this one goes the distance. That's probably a safer way to say.
Okay. I think that Yusri, in my opinion, losing to Azamat Bukayev by knockout is
He knocked out Azamat.
Oh, he did, huh? I forgot he gassed. Azamat gassed bad, and it was that fight pissed me off because I had Azamat. I thought he was going to get it done. And then he goes out there and looks terrible. He looked great in every single fight up to that point.
Dude, yeah, I picked Bukayev too.
It just, I don't know. But, again, I'm not high on Yusri. I think that, I don't know. I think that he's just going to go out there and get outclassed, out-wrestled, out-grappled, and it's just not going to be a good performance for Yusri. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he goes out there and looks like a world beater. We'll just have to wait and see. Next, we have Juliana Rosa versus Ryan Douglas. How do you think this fight goes?
So whenever I was looking at it before, I thought a Rosa submission, but then you've made me scared. You make me think it's this Larian Douglas. But I don't know too much about Douglas too much. Just outside looking in, a Rosa sub against a name I'm not too familiar with. I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's my take until I find out more this weekend. I didn't look in too much.
Yeah, the problem I have with Julian Rosa is sometimes he's just too careless. He gets too reckless, and he gets caught with big shots. This is not the guy that you want to get caught with big shots by. Ryan Douglas, dude is a fucking powerhouse. He's got super, super dangerous hands. But his grappling is questionable. So I wouldn't beat yourself up for the Juliana Rosa by sub pick. I think that it could very well happen. It's just that Juliana Rosa needs to make sure he doesn't get fucking clipped on the chin. And good luck to him, man, because Douglas, I mean, I loved watching this dude fight on the Contender Series. His fucking
Holy shit, dude!
nickname,
Larian's a 3-1 favorite. Oh man.
yeah. His nickname is Gunslinger. The dude goes out there and looks like a fucking sniper. So I'm excited to see how this fight goes. Obviously, Julian Erosa, he might out-grapple him, but we'll have to wait and see. My pick is Douglas, though. I think Douglas gets it done by KO or decision.
Shit,
Moving on.
probably.
We have Michael Chiesa versus Nico Price. Honestly, Nico Price, I don't know why he's back this soon after his last fight where he got brutally KO'd. I just think that it's too soon. I think that he should have took more time off. He took this fight on short notice. It's Michael Chiesa's retirement fight. He was supposed to fight Carlson Harris. I don't know, man. Like, where's Nico Price from? Let's see. Okay, so he's from Florida.
Oh, he's a Florida boy. It makes sense.
I mean, if Nico was going out there and is like, oh, I'm fighting, close to home. This is going to be my last fight. I'm going to retire. This fight makes sense.
A month after a brutal knockout.
Yeah, but he took it short notice. It's Michael Chiesa's retirement fight. I don't know how this goes, man. I know Nico has good jiu-jitsu. So does Michael Chiesa. I think that the grappling is going to be kind of nullified. And I think on the feet, Nico Price is better than Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa is not a great striker by any means, but I'm just scared of the chin, man. I can't trust Nico Price's chin that soon after a KO. If his chin holds up, I think he wins this fight. If the chin doesn't hold up, I think he gets brutally KO'd again, or submitted maybe. Maybe he gets like club and subbed. But
So if it goes the distance, probably Nico. If there's a finish, it's Michael's.
yeah, that's exactly how I see it.
Yeah,
Or
that
maybe-
sounds about right. Unless
maybe
Michael
Michael
just
Chiesa-
grinds him out to a decision.
Yeah, I think, Chiesa has good wrestling. I think that Chiesa could definitely just eat up control time the whole time Nico Price is fighting off, any submissions that Chiesa is trying to set up or whatever. So maybe.
What's the
Chiesa
gas
could
tank
win.
advantage, you think? I think Nico might have that edge.
I don't know, dude. Like, they're both pretty big
Old,
welterweights. Well, yeah, they're old, but they're both big welterweights, and they're like frame wise, they kind of match each other. So I don't know. I think it'll be a good fight though. Hopefully for Michael Chiesa's sake, since it's his retirement fight, he gets the win. But just for the fuck of it, dude, I'm gonna pick Nico Price. I think Nico Price is just more dangerous on feet. I think he's gonna pick off Michael Chiesa. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this fight. So this is the co-main event. We have Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber. I think that Alexa Grasso is one of the best females in this division. I love watching her boxing. She's got nasty submissions too. Like, her jiu-jitsu off her back is really good. And Macy Barber is a great striker as well. She's got great power. She has pretty good takedown defense. The only problem I have with Macy Barber is that last fight when she fought what's her name? Karina Silva.
Yeah.
I just thought that, like, in the third round, she had me kind of nervous, to be honest. Like, that was the fight where she was like, she got hit. It was like an illegal blow or something. And she was like acting weird
Like an
as shit
upkick
after.
or something, right?
Yeah, she was like acting weird as shit after, and like, oh, my head and this and that. And like, I was a little worried because then after that, she just didn't look the same. Fighting Alexa Grasso, this is a rematch, by the way. Alexa Grasso beat her before. Fighting Alexa Grasso, Alexa has power in her hands. She's sneaky with her jiu-jitsu. And I think that I don't want to say Macy Barber's like a pullout merchant, but she's always battling injuries. And then she had like the weird scare where,
Yeah.
yeah, where she had like the seizure right before she was supposed to walk out for her main event. So I think Alexa Grasso gets it done again. I think Alexa Grasso pieces her up on the feet. If she takes Macy Barber down, I think she's going to be able to just absolutely control her. And I'm not even nervous to say, like, Alexa Grasso is my pick. How do you think this goes?
I don't know, man. I don't. I honestly, I feel like Macy is the stronger wrestler, and so I could see potentially grinding out. But I don't know. Like she's a almost 2-1 favorite against Grasso, but especially with you saying like she's beaten her once already, and that was back Usman Burns card, so that's forever and a half ago. But and Macy, she's really found her rhythm lately. She's on the up and up, whereas Alexa, she's hasn't been looking so great lately. So and
Bro,
it's like, but the people she's been fighting, yeah, it's fucking for the belt, Valentina, for the past 3 times, and then the fight against Silva, So it's just, I don't know. I could see
that
Alexa definitely getting it done.
that line is just recency bias, bro. It's just that Alexa's coming off the 2 losses versus Macy Barber's coming off wins. That's the
Yeah.
only reason why it's that wide. I don't think that the line should be what it is. I think it should be more of a pick 'em. Um, Natalia Silva, tough matchup for anybody, dude. I think she is very likely going to be a champ within the next 2
Yeah, she's
years.
good.
And that was a tough fight for Alexa because she just couldn't implement anything. Natalia Silva has great grappling, great takedown defense, and her striking. She was able to, anytime Alexa got close, teep kick the shit out of her, jab her, and dance around. It was just like MVP all over again. She was able to just completely outscore her at range, and it was tough for Alexa to really get anything meaningful off. Obviously, the Valentina fight, yeah, I thought she lost, but there was never like pure dominance. Like Valentina outpointed her. She didn't beat her ass. Macy Barber, I don't see her just clearly outpointing Alexa Grasso. They're going to be throwing hard as shit because they both like to throw. Um, and I think
Well, that
late.
was my. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I
I'll
was just
let
going
you
to say, I
finish.
think late that Alexa Grasso is going to implement more of the grappling and be able to get it done.
Well, and that was the grappling is the only way that I see Macy Barber etching out the decision. I see her being more, and that's why I said the strength in the wrestling. Whereas Alexa, like that last fight she had with Valentina, she was like, still 4 rounds deep into being controlled by Valentina, and she's still just trying to work her jujitsu game and throw submissions and whatnot, rather than trying to get up and like make a fight happen. And I don't I don't want to see Alexa fall into that because I think she can win. I think she has the cleaner hands, and I mean she's more submission savvy. But I could just see Macy being more grindy, and that's the only path I see of her for victory.
I don't know, man. It's like you've rolled with wrestlers before, man. You know how they are. Like, you roll with a guy who is a good wrestler, but like doesn't have crazy jujitsu. Like, yeah, they might take you down, and yeah, they might be able to control you. But if you're the better jujitsu practitioner, like, you can get finessey and fucking put them in a guillotine or sweep them. Or Macy Barber's not Valentina. She's not going to be able to just hold Alexa Grasso down. I think Alexa's honestly going to outclass her, even off her back. I think Alexa's going to throw up those up kicks if, for whatever reason she ends up on her back. I think that she's going to go for arm bars or triangles. I think she's going to be so
She
dangerous
is active on her
in
back for
her.
sure.
Yeah, I think she's going to be so dangerous in her guard. Macy Barber's not going to want to try to lay there and just control her. And if the fight takes place on the feet, I just think that Alexa Grasso, it's going to be competitive. I think that I don't know. I kind of think that Macy's going to outstrike her, honestly, like volume wise.
Volume, yeah.
But I don't know, man. I like Alexa Grasso here. I'm not
I'm
going to overthink
excited.
it, but
This is a good fighters. We not just like 1 or 2 ranked people on the card. This is a good co.
yeah, for sure. Next, we have the main event. We have Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. What are your thoughts on this?
Call me crazy, man. I think Pyfer gets it done. I don't know. I faded Izzy against Imavov. and he was a huge favorite against him. It felt like I don't know. I feel like I and this is a crazy take. I just never been a big Izzy guy. You know,
Yeah.
that's just my opinion. And I think Pyfer, he had that humbling loss against Hermanson. That does great for a lot of people, dude. Finding out that you can't just put everyone away in the first, round or two. And then you sprinkle onto that Pyfer having his submission threat. He's not. I I think it worked well for Drickus when he fought Izzy. Having that mix up of I have knockout power and I'm a submission threat, so constantly working
Mhm.
takedowns and strikes. I could see a world where Pyfer gets it done. But Izzy, he's got a reach advantage and he is former dominating champ. So,
Yeah, I'm actually on the same side. I picked Joe Pyfer when this fight was first announced. Um, a lot of people are picking Izzy because gas tank issues, right? A lot of people are worried about Joe Pyfer because of how he looked against Jack Hermanson.
'cause he went out 5 rounds and didn't
Completely,
get finished while dog tired.
yeah, but it's like completely different style of fight. Um, in my opinion, Joe Pyfer versus Kelvin Gastelum told me everything I needed to know about this fight. Kelvin Gastelum and Israel Adesanya had an absolute war against each other, and when Joe Pyfer fought Kelvin, he just completely took over. He dominated the whole fight. Like he almost knocked him out multiple times. I was there for that fight in person. I remember just thinking like, dude, Kelvin Gastelum has a fucking granite chin. I don't know how he didn't go out. I like Joe Pyfer here because obviously he's got dangerous power. Adesanya's chin has been looking a little shaky lately, and when I saw Izzy grapple with Drickus, it looked like Izzy had never been on the mats. Like, the way that Drickus got that rear naked choke should not have happened, bro. Anybody who, like, trains jujitsu regularly, like, I know there was fatigue obviously involved and obviously getting punched in the face. It'll make you do stupid shit. But in my opinion, after I saw that, I was like, holy shit, Izzy's grappling has never really been tested. And it's the whole Max Holloway thing all over again. I was telling people Charles is going to win against Max Holloway. And the reason I said that was because Max Holloway has always had favorable matchups in the UFC. Like, he's never fought a guy that is going to try to take him down and choke him out. He always fights guys that want to stand and bang with him. And Max is
He's in
always the better
145.
striker.
He's never had a Mobsar fight threat or something, like
Yeah, exactly. He's never fought like a super high level dangerous grappler. And then the moment he does with Charles Oliveira, granted, yes, I know he beat Charles the first time, but it was a fucking fluke. It was
that.
like
Yeah,
less than a minute. He gets
that's an
fucking
on paper
injured.
win.
Yeah, but Charles was never able to even implement grappling in that fight. What happened in this rematch? Charles went out there and absolutely dominated him. Fucking dumped him on his ass every single round. Max couldn't get up. And I think that Joe Pyfer has extremely dangerous jiu-jitsu. He's competing all the time when he's not fighting for CFFC. And I think that this is the perfect matchup that if he doesn't feel comfortable on the feet against Adesanya, because Adesanya is extremely slick, take the dude down, fucking use your jiu-jitsu, uh, throw some shots, fucking ground and pound a bit. I think this is Joe's fight to win. Like, I think the wrestling is also going to tire Adesanya out. I know Adesanya has a
Yeah,
great gas tank, but look how he looked against Drickus. Like, the
I
moment
never
that
thought his
wrestling,
his gas tank was great though. Honestly,
but it was never bad.
yeah,
Like, his gas tank always held up enough for him to do what he needed to do. With somebody like Joe Pyfer, who has great, not wrestling, but great grappling, I think that
different endurance.
yeah, Adesanya is going to try really hard to get back up, and maybe he does, but it's going to tax the gas tank. And I like Joe Pyfer in this fight. Young blood, dude's hungry. He's trying to move up. Obviously, he trains at Marquez MMA with Sean Brady. Um, I think this is his fight to win, man. And he doesn't wrap his fucking hands.
Yeah, I felt like I heard something about that.
Yeah, dude, at the Kelvin Gastelum fight in Jersey, he
That's crazy.
they found out he does not wrap his hands. So like he just goes out there and hits you fucking with a little bit of fucking 4 ounce padding in those MMA gloves. So
That's probably why he's such a knockout artist. I heard that. I remember hearing that, and I was like, could that be like cheating? Like, like You're fucking. I mean, I think it's a risk reward payoff. You know, you're more susceptible to
Yeah, I
breaking
mean,
that
you
mug
could break
right
your
then.
fucking
And yeah,
wrist, but if you don't break your wrist,
you're
you're hitting
knocking
the dude
someone
with
out,
fucking
dude.
pure knuckle. Like,
Yeah.
so
No, I
yeah, I'm glad
definitely
we
agree though. Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad we both agree. I'm glad that we're both on the Pyfer side. Maybe Izzy goes out there and fucking makes it look easy, but I don't think it's gonna look easy. I think he's gonna be in some trouble the later the fight goes. So I like Joe Pyfer there, but that's UFC Seattle. I'm excited for this card. Some good fights. Let's talk about some MMA news, brother.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's start off with uh, uh, fuck it, McGregor's return. So obviously, as of lately, anything revolving Conor McGregor is all speculation at this point. Apparently, he has been talking to Hunter Campbell in the UFC, and they are extremely close on finalizing a fight for International Fight Week. I'm excited because McGregor pretty much got me back into watching UFC. Obviously, growing up, I watched it on and off. Um, but when McGregor was like at his height and about to fight Khabib, that's when I started watching. And I loved the guy's shit talk. I loved all the theatrics surrounding him. He made the UFC fun. He gave us like that fucking drama that the WWE tries to give you that's all staged and bullshit.
He farted in Jose Aldo's face.
Yeah. But his is all real. Like his is fucking he's gonna throw a fucking dolly at your fucking bus window because you
Yeah.
were talking shit, you know? Like his antics were fun. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people have kind of hopped off of the McGregor train because the dude's been talking about coming back for like what 4 or 5 years now, and we've yet to see it pulled out of a fight against Mike Chandler for his fucking pinky toe or whatever it was. So I think people have given up on McGregor at this point, but hopefully, fingers crossed, he gets the fight International Fight Week. I hope they give him a can or they give him like a vet that, you know, fuck it, dude. Give him Jorge Masvidal. Like, both of those guys haven't fought in a while.
That would
Conor
sell.
wants to fight at 170. You know there's going to be shit talk. Like, I think it's a banger fight. So,
I hope the opposite, dude. I hope they give him someone that fucking eats him. I hope they give him someone that just annihilates McGregor. I came in after he had already been, I started watching actively after he had lost to Poirier, and the second time, and it's just I don't know his antics outside, and then pulling out last minute, and then I didn't even get his last fight with Chandler he was supposed to have before he pulled out. I didn't even get the McGregor presser. None of the stuff that makes it legendary. I just get a lot of silence. A couple, the month or two before it, and it's like this is crazy. And
yeah.
it's just I'm hearing about him like raping women and then pushing people off his boat and then doing cocaine and stuff as someone who didn't experience allegedly.
Allegedly, until proven guilty, those are major accusations. And to be
Allegedly.
fair, the girl in Miami that claimed that he raped her and took her to the bathroom and all that shit, fucking, there's footage of him and
I'm
her
just saying
walking in
it's
there willy
easy,
nilly. Like,
neither here nor there. It's easy to not like this guy, not having gone through that McGregor era live and experiencing it.
I
That
think
being
you're
said,
just a fucking hater.
I think he deserves to be on the UFC Mount Rushmore. But yeah, no, fuck this guy, dude. I hope they give him fucking roofie and he fucking kicks his head off.
You know what? I hope he's one of our 20 subscribers. I hope he finds where you fucking live. And I hope he knocks your ass out.
Dude, me too. I'd be like, oh shit, it's Conor McGregor.
And then you can sue the fuck out of him and actually win.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, man.
But
Hopefully he gets a good fight. I don't think that the UFC's not going to feed Conor to somebody dangerous, bro. They
yeah,
know there's way too much money behind Conor. He's always going to make people tune in. You're not going to feed that guy to a fucking prospect that like nobody knows. It's not going to happen. They're going to give him either a legend or an absolute fucking can to make him look, like he's still got it.
I wouldn't
So
mind the Nate Diaz 3 fight.
yeah, I love that fight. I think he beats Nate's ass, to be honest.
Yeah, probably.
But it is what it is. Um, Let's see what else we got. We have Dana White discussing fighters wanting to cross over to Zuffa boxing.
O'Malley, Taporia, Pereira. You wouldn't be interested in promoting those fights?
No way in hell. The crossover fights suck.
Even like Pereira was rumored to go and get big money against Alexander Usyk. Would you not see the financial benefits in promoting that?
That's not what we do. It's just not what we do.
But surely...
I want to see the best fighters in the world fight the best fighters in the world. I mean, I'd like to see Jai Opetaia fight Usyk.
I understand what you're saying, but from a business perspective, if then Pereira tries to get off,
there's other networks and other people that do that shit. It's not what I do.
Fair enough.
It's just not what I do. I did it once.
And it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was amazing. It was financially unbelievable. But how many times can you keep fooling people with that? You know, I run a business that every Saturday, basically, I put on fights, right? And we try to put on the best fights with the best fighters in the world. And you hope that the people that came to London, got hotel rooms, bought tickets, and spent all this money to come here, and the people who stayed home on a Saturday got what they were hoping for. You hope you deliver. And what I hope to deliver on Saturdays is as many holy shit moments as possible. And you don't get that from the crossover fights. And
yeah, so I disagree with his point there at the end. I understand if he's like, we're not in the business of making circuits fights. We want, you know, high-level boxers against high-level boxers. But to say like, oh, you're not going to get an oh shit moment from Sean O'Malley fighting Devin Haney or, you know, Tank Davis, I completely disagree. Like, obviously those fights are going to sell tremendously because you're going to have a guy who is at the highest level in MMA versus a guy who's at the highest level in boxing. I think that people are intrigued by those. It's like, you remember when you were a kid and like, maybe you didn't watch them, but like Power Rangers, you used to have like
crossover episodes.
Yeah,
that was the sickest shit.
They were the absolute best. You were like, oh dude, fucking the Red Ranger from over here is meeting the Red Ranger from this one. And it was like the coolest shit ever. That's how I feel about the crossover fights. To have, you know, these guys I love watching in MMA over here fight these guys that like I like to watch in boxing, meet in the middle and, you know, show off their skill sets. I think it's great for sales. I think it's great for entertainment. Will you get some boring fights? Yeah, of course. Like,
well, boxing's boring in general. But anyways, yeah, maybe he has the Zuffa platform now. He has it at his disposal to where he has that platform in front of him. He can do this now on his terms. It can be his thing. He can set up Mayweather McGregor, you know, essentially, and that be his thing. And it's ignorant to shut it down because it's like, dude, I want to see a fucking boxer get their ass beat again. You had James Toney once against Randy Couture, but it's like, other than that, boxers don't really come over. You know, no big boxers for sure. You know, recently you got Ryan Garcia talking shit because of the Holloway and Oliveira fight, and it's like, dude, you guys would get crushed. You'd get crushed.
Fuck Ryan Garcia. I met that motherfucker in Vegas, bro. He was the biggest dickhead ever. He like didn't want anybody coming up to him. He was like having his bodyguard like try to take people's phones and shit. Like, the dude's a fucking dickhead. I don't like Ryan Garcia, but yeah, I feel you. Essentially it just sounds like Dana just got a bad taste in his mouth from the McGregor Mayweather fight. Like, the fight was kind of boring. It was an early ass stoppage in my opinion. They should not have stopped it when they did. And on top of that, like, going back to what you said about like him having the platform with Zuffa, the only problem I see with that is that in Zuffa boxing, he doesn't have any big names. You know, like he's got what is it, Conor Benn?
Yeah, but he can get him now. He has this thing that he's putting him on. He's like, hey, I could pay you $15 million to come fight. And
but 15 million is nothing to those guys.
Well, but it was enough for that one Conor Benn. It was enough for him. And it's like, fucking have him come box one of the guys that you want. And now you put on that fight. Now you've got intrigue. You've got other boxers. You got Devin Haney who's like, you know what? And, you know, I go do it with you. And it's like, now you have your own leverage that if these fighters want to box, There's your answer. That's how you do it. And I'm not gonna let you go fucking make all those other, fucking I forgot his name, Oscar De La
De La
Hoya or
Hoya.
whatever. Yeah, go make him fucking all that money and shit. You make the money now. It's like he needs to stop thinking old. He needs to. That the change is happening.
I think he needs to just fight. What's his name?
That Brit.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck is his name now? I'm like
One who
blanking
signed
on
Tom
it.
Aspinall.
Yeah, Tom's manager. Anyway, I think he should fucking fight him. I think that's the main event for fucking Zuffa Boxing 2026 or 2027. Fucking
They said something about that. He said that if I ended up fighting him, because Connor Ben said, we would be. It's Eddie Hearn. He said
Eddie.
that if you guys could be the main event, he said no. If we ended up boxing, that would be the fucking opening. Fucking like I'm not. That is not a skillful fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, but enough of that boxing shit. This is an
Yeah.
MMA podcast.
Yeah, boxing shit.
Let's go back to MMA, the sport we both love and adore. I am so excited to say that my boy Chris Taco Padilla is fighting Markel Medeiros in Miami, a card that I will be at, and I will be with Chris Padilla, and I cannot wait for this shit because Chris Padilla is going to put belt to ass. Chris Padilla is going to beat the brakes off this dude on the feet, and if he wants to, he's going to take him down, and he's going to fucking choke him out. But I think he's going to hit Markel with a fucking elbow just like he did
Wrong zoo.
old boy, and fucking it's going to be wraps. It's going to be a good night. My boy Taco is going to get a fucking performance bonus. He's going to get 100K, and I can't fucking wait. I'm even actually wearing his shirt right now. Go cop that fucking that
Taco merch.
that taco shirt. You could get that on Born for This. Yeah, man, I'm excited about this fight. It was the last addition to UFC Miami. I think that this is a good fight for Taco. I think that Taco is better everywhere than this guy. So, how do you feel about it?
I think it's a good fight. Like, yeah, he's gonna win, and that's awesome. But I just, I don't know. I wish he had something with more name value. We talked about how the Bobby Green fight fell out and whatnot, and that would have been, I think that would have been an outstanding fight for him. That would have been another good one on the resume. That would have just, that would have helped catapult him a little bit more. I think, another prospect that's good for him. It's gonna look good. I'm just happy he's fighting again.
Yeah, bro. Bobby Green was fucking ducking Taco. Bobby knew what was going to happen if he fought Taco. And shout out to my boy Chris Coley, Coach Jumbie. Man, we were both talking about that fight so much the last couple of weeks. That was going to be an amazing fight for Taco. It would have been a huge step up in the lightweight division for him. And I think he would have finished Bobby easily.
Yeah.
But instead, Bobby took the fight with Jeremy Stevens, another old head. Taco gets this fight. I'm excited, but I'm telling you right now, my boy Chris, he's going to fucking get the job done. Taco Padilla is going to go in there and put on a fucking amazing performance. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait to finally see Taco fight live, to be there, feel the energy when he fucking walks out in Miami. I'm fucking hyped, dude. I'm so fucking hyped for this shit.
Hell yeah, bro. For sure. Taco fight news always exciting.
Yeah, man. Great guy as well. Very, very humble, but a fucking savage when he gets in the fucking cage. But that being said, that was UFC Seattle. We talked about UFC London. Talked about how we felt about all these matchups. We broke every single fight down. We gave you some MMA news, and we hope you enjoyed, man. That was episode 7. I can't believe we've done 7 episodes already. I feel like now we're kind of getting into our groove where it's just flowing much better. I feel like, we have good chemistry. We're both, big fight fans.
That's my dog.
Obviously, there's some fucking matchups where we're like, we don't have much to say because, to be honest, they're fucking shitty fights. So I'm sorry if we didn't go super in depth on some of them, but that's how it is, man. Some of these fighters have to fight, and The UFC is going to give him a matchup that nobody really asked for, but it is what it is. We'll see you next week. Do you have anything else?
Nah, man. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow us at UFC Zach and UFC Pat, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Please subscribe, man. We need some fucking subscribers on YouTube because we are struggling in the YouTube world right now. But at the end of the day, man, we're doing this shit for fun. We're doing this because we love it. And whether we have 20 subscribers or 20 million, it's always going to be a blast to do this shit with you. So I'm looking forward to recapping next week after, we see the results on Saturday. But, yeah, brother, that's it. So appreciate y'all. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe, like, leave a comment. Send this link to your pastor, your grandma, your grandpa, anybody that you have in your life.
Put on game.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all I got. See y'all next week.
This is Corner Talk.